Hello everyone, welcome on board. Murbis is welcoming you this year. We are glad to meet you. And with all the changes that we have today, so all our businesses are slightly or significantly shifted to distance mode. So let me please introduce you Mr. Andrey Sukarov, who is a genius of cybersecurity, and he will tell you a lot more than we all know about cyber risks, attacks, and how to secure your business from it. So Andrey, the floor is yours.
Maria, thank you so much. Good time of the day in your time zones. I'm very pleased to welcome you from Kaspersky office. So you see, I'm speaking not from a home, sorry, I'm sitting in the office. And today I will live together with you 45 minutes and deliver my sincere presentation about exciting topics. So let's start my presentation. Okay. Yes. I would like to speak about cybersecurity, but let me say honestly that cybersecurity has a new face, and please welcome new type of definition to speak about cyber risks, because they impact our business, they penetrate our processes, and this topic is becoming more and more important among C-level people. I assume that all of you have a very good goals to go later or sooner into the boardrooms of your company, in case you are not there. So I would like to prove that this discipline is very important for your business activity and for your daily life. So let's start from introduction. Again, do not forget, we are entering cybersecurity, very mysterious part of people knowledge. And I would like to deliver simple statements about this topic and deliver all experience we have in our company for the last 23 years. So let's be serious right now. Very briefly, I came to this stage from mathematics. I spent 4 years studying all discipline of mathematics. Then, thanks to my good Warwick Business School, after IT technologies, I got some information about how does business work. And since 2015, I joined cybersecurity world in Kaspersky family. Recently, I joined as a CEO. It's a new daughter company, joint venture of Kaspersky and Itelma. And I'm leading today new topic of industrial Internet of Things. So mathematics, IT, business, and cybersecurity. And this makes me a right to deliver things I personally believe in. And I have many lections in my life. I could say that cybersecurity starts from 3 years. For those of you who have kids, please go and have a look on Fixix video series about how our young kids can behave in the area of cyber world. And it never finishes. Today, during 45 minutes, we will provide you only a small squeeze part of our today's executive MBA program. And I believe for some of you, it will be just initial phase of the knowledge, and you will continue to understand what does it mean for a business. First part of my presentation is devoted to the topic, why should we speak today about cybersecurity with you? let's take a very serious study. It comes every year from the Davos Economic Forum, and participants of Davos Economic Forum try to assess different type of the risks, and this year they found that cyber attacks are among top risks for the planet. You see on the screen that cyber attacks are even more important than interstate conflict or global governance failure. It means that if you run country, corporation, or some company, you have to be worried about these top risks. One important message I would like to mention here, that it's not only about cyber attack themselves, but every cyber attack, every cyber incident can lead to wrong perception of new technology. For example, you may see right now on the screen link between cyber attack and adverse technological advances, which means that if during, let's say, some pilot stage of new type of robot, you will face with a failure, you will face with cyber attack, you will stop, go in this direction, and you will stop this activity for years because of wrong perception of good technology. So if you are trying to implement digital transformation in your company, definitely you should be worried about negative impact of cyber attack. So what is the average financial impact from one cyber attack? But before, I would like to establish connection with you, and I will call for your interaction. We will try to display right now two simple questions. I will ask for my colleague. Let's start. So now you see simple question. Do you use antivirus on your laptop? Please vote on this simple question. And then I am asking to start second question at the same time. And question is, do you believe that one cyber incident can cost your company annual profit size? I will give you 15 seconds more, and then we will fix all results. Okay. Let's stop. It's very interesting. I have a very good audience because majority of you have a antivirus software, which is a small, simple way, and many of you understand significance of the cybersecurity for the company. So let's continue. Let's have a short story from real life. I don't know if you recognize this gentleman. I like him very much. I would recommend you spend 6 more minutes after my session and have a look on his presentation during Davos Forum. But today I will provide brief story about Myers company. And this gentleman is a chairman of the Myers company, which usually has a 30 billion revenue. And for the time when he told the story, the profit of the company was about $6 million. 27th of June 2017 was a nightmare for this gentleman, starting 4 a.m. And it was real cyber incident which cost for them many efforts. You see big numbers here. I will not follow each of them. All these numbers are about work they have to do to recover their business. Myers took 10 days to come back from the incident to the normal life. You can imagine 10 days of the global company which is responsible for 20% of global cargo moving. Do you think it was a big losses in money? Yes, definitely. I would like to remember that 2017 annual profit was 356 million, and they stated that losses from this one cyber incident was about 300 million, which means that we definitely should worry about our risks. Number one, we should understand that one cyber incident can be comparable with a company profit. And definitely this is an obligation, not cybersecurity officer, but the person number one, who is the owner of the company, to take responsibility after something may happen. Now I would like to provide you some historical data to make insights about what is the cybersecurity today. Let's start from the definition, which was valid maybe 2-3 years ago, and mostly it covered computers, servers, mobile devices, electronic systems, networks, and data. So it was some limited definition of cybersecurity. But if you will have a look on the modern enterprise, it's mostly about cyber physical systems, which means that all of your data floors, conveyors, different distribution networks, logistic systems are connected. And they use different type of sensors, controllers to send information from the physical world to your IT systems. So we deal with the cyber physical system, and with that, definition of cybersecurity increased dramatically. Now it covers cyber physical elements of big system, and cybersecurity, it's not only about cyber attacks, it's also about cyber incidents. We have many evidences that one mistake of integration project, internal integration project, no one would like to provide any hacking activities, also may cost to the company a lot. Please remember that in the world of cybersecurity, there are three main topics: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Because of time limitation, I will not follow through all of these techniques you see on the screen. This is a topic for extended or even for regular courses, but it's very important to remember all these three pillars of the cybersecurity. If we will come back to 1994, we will be surprised that for that time, new virus happened 1 per 1 hour. It was 26 years ago. Today, we have absolutely different numbers. Every day, we deal in our company with about 400,000 different malicious fragments. You can imagine a big difference for only 26 years. This is about modern state of the cybersecurity. So if we will divide all these 400 per day, of course, many of them, I would say 99%, even 99.9 is about relatively simple for assessment and resolution cases. And many cybersecurity firms deal with that vast number of malicious objects. But this small red triangle, which is 0.1, is about complex attacks, is about, we call them APT. Remember this term, advanced persistent threat, APT attack. This is a very big problem for the companies. And we currently observe about 200 cyber criminal groups which are trying to create complicated cyber attacks on particular companies in the world. Why? Because this is a big business. Many companies, almost all companies globally depend on cyber, depend on technology. And you see that 2 years ago, some forecasts stated about $500 billion US. Now the number of prediction for cyber crime means about from 8 up to 10 trillion US dollars. My next academic point is about clarity when successful cyber attack may happen. Please remember this 3-domain threat model. And this model shows us that there are 3 main ingredients of possible attacks. If we will be lucky and professional to exclude at least one, our possible losses will be minimized. Number 1 is about vulnerabilities across our cyber physical system. We call it system sensibility. And it means that you may have or you may not have vulnerabilities on your system, in your computers, in your controllers, video cameras, etc. Second domain is a threat accessibility, which means that someone can penetrate this system from outside or from some low prioritized computer to the high valuable system. And the third ingredient is techniques. We call them exploit, and it covers threat capability domain. So in a simple way, if you have a vulnerability, if you may get access to this vulnerability, and if someone will create exploit or the tools which can use this vulnerability, attack may happen. I have one funny story. It came from my real life, but it's not funny if you will imagine real possible losses. It happened in an industrial Ural area, Yekaterinburg. I was invited to have a video lection, and before lection, before presentation, which by the way we did translate in real live by streaming television, we agreed that we will go to this media center. You see location of this lection on the left. It has a big walls, it has a big screens, and any type of information you can display on this media. And we agreed that we will try to identify vulnerability. We will try to understand if it's possible to penetrate, to get access into this object, and then we'll present them. The deal was the following. We agreed to identify possible vulnerabilities, and if it's happened, we have a right to demonstrate it in our presentation. So now I would like to provide this short video. So I will start to comment. We have one researcher with a yellow belt. You see that he's trying to find vulnerability by his 2 smart fingers, but in reality by his brain. And in usual life, it may happen when bad guys or girls try to use it. So you see that he just stopped the normal way of working of this informational kiosk, and in 2 minutes he get access to this network of the company. Now after 2 or 3 minutes, it would be possible in reality to get control on all informational resources and infrastructural of this of this building, of this company. It's interesting thing, it also happened almost everywhere, that by definition, security manager is a confident that his company is well protected. But after he got some information about vulnerabilities, his face definitely changed. So you see his behavior before and after our short experiment. Again, I would like to mention the three ingredients: vulnerability, access, and possible exploit, which bad guys can use to penetrate into the system and to run this vulnerability. A couple of words about predictions. So one is a prediction for 2020 that ransomware we heard about based on Myers case is converting from regular ransomware for regular laptops to targeted system, which means that we should expect that criminal groups will start to focus on particular companies. And by the way, we did a prediction beginning 2020. It happened unfortunately recently. For all of you who has some running device, I'm sure that you heard about Garmin case, which happened last month. So Garmin resources were attacked with a ransomware, and it was proven that it was targeted ransomware attack for particular company, not for just regular home-based laptops, but for particular company. The second trend I would like to mention today is about focus on non-computer elements, like we may have with the controllers, like we may have with the IoT systems, and we should pay special attention how to protect all this information. So as a short summary, cyber physical systems today define a new type of cybersecurity aspects. We deal with the many malicious objects per day. And to be successful with the cybersecurity, we have to consider it not as a product, not as a project. It's about continual process, which we have to repeat at least every 6 months or even more frequent, depending on business we run. So with that, I would like to switch to a couple of questions we currently have. There is a cyber attack which I cannot protect my company. Now every company defensive without, just a second, I have to read it first.
So company now are very, every company defensible at 100% without using recovery system. Is it true or false? That was the last question, I think.
Yeah, so recovery is a one part of protection strategy, but it's not all. With the complexity of cyber attacks, it's not enough to have a real backup systems. You have to be one step ahead of the attackers. Otherwise, I will come later to this topic. It cannot be only about recovery of information, because it can be even harmful for your equipment. Some industrial assets can be broken, and it's not about recovery of data. So the next question is
which risks could deepfake technology pose to organizations, and which cybersecurity measures would be required to respond, I apologize, to these risks?
So I will come back very soon to the risks, and I will mention the main risks aspects and measures. So please wait a little bit. Let's just have one more question, and I promise we will have a special dedicated time to provide some feedbacks on every questions which may be still unanswered for this moment. Okay? As a
Okay.
startup, what is the best form of cybersecurity to use to start? How far should, yes, it's a very good question. Very briefly, usually startups has a brilliant idea, which is definitely not a cybersecurity, because every startups try to minimize any possible cost factors, and they consider cybersecurity as an additional cost. And usually they think, okay, let's create our brilliant product, let's sell it to venture capitalists or to first customers, and then we will acquire some investments, and then we will decide what will be a cybersecurity. It's not true, because if you will come to cybersecurity on a later stage, you will pay more, because on top cybersecurity will not work such efficient as a secure by design approach. So my recommendation, and we have a special department to work with the startups, how to deliver this secure by design approach from the beginning stage. Believe me, it will cost less for you, and it will be more attractive for investors, because all investors, almost all, understand the significance of cybersecurity right now. So sorry, I have to run for the next slides. We will have one more stop for questions, but currently I would like to provide you why you should switch cybersecurity to the new type of term, which is cyber risk. It is very interesting source of information I have been following for last 7 years. Allianz Risk Barometer. You may get access, and you may understand historical trend. And the trend is that 7 years ago, business people did not consider cyber incidents because they were on number 13. Cyber incidents 7 years ago were outside of top 10, outside of the interest. Yes, they had a security officer, they had a CIO of the company, that's it. What did happen since 2013? In 2020, it was the first year in a row when cyber incidents became #1 risk. We may research many similar studies. Allianz Risk Barometer is one of it, but believe me, you can follow your own research. At least cyber incidents in every report can be #1, #2, #3. Definitely within top 10, and definitely within the highest number of risks. So for all of you who believed in a strong brand value of your company, I would like to say that it's #8 right now. For all of you who would like to prove that risk managers have to assess market developments and impact on profit or revenue erosion in your company, I would like to state that it's just #5. Please sit together with your top managers and read carefully. Cyber incidents is #1. What is for my company? How may I react on some events? How can I prevent these events? Because if you will not react and you will not anticipate events for the highest risk, something bad may happen. So if we all agree that cyber incidents became very important type of the risk, we have to handle it, we have to manage it as a regular risk, which we usually have in our risk management departments. And in general, from the business schools, we know that we may accept this risk, we may transfer it or mitigate. And I would like briefly provide some new and significant steps about this type of risk management. Number one, acceptance. So I have many meetings with the C-level people. They still have a perception that cybersecurity is something not for us. And this is a big challenge, both for IT security guys and for business people. Honestly, C-levels do not care about cybersecurity. But it's a big problem, it's a big challenge how to convert this cybersecurity term into risk, into cyber risk. If we will be successful, we will get an agreement and we will have a very good teamwork within one company. So of course, we have to have many efforts internally with the cybersecurity and IT department to understand how to deliver right message to big boss, which is very interested in taking as much risk as possible, but in the same time avoiding possible losses. And I have some recommendations here. You have to be well equipped with numbers. You have to be well equipped with business terms and change cybersecurity into different terms like loss prevention, operational efficiency. And I have one example which came from my real project. I run this project. I would like to share the idea how to implement it. So imagine, even if you are not in the oil and gas industry, imagine that modern refinery plant looks like this. And in the center with the red big tube, you may see catalytic reformer unit, which is very expensive technological part of the plant and a critical part of the plant. So if it will stop, all technology process will be down. We made the project, and remember all these three type of cyber attacks, vulnerabilities, penetration, and exploit. We will be able to identify vulnerability within electronic document system, and then we deliver very strong arguments that we can reach this type of technological unit. Then we identified what is the vendor for critical system of this catalytic reformer unit they currently use. We found on the internet exploit, so program which can be used to exploit this vulnerability. And together with the chief engineer, with a very experienced person, we concluded that with the current level of cyber protection, it's possible to completely demolish catalytic flakes, catalytic spare parts, which they use from very expensive platinum in 3 hours, which means that now we have a full story to write down on the paper and to deliver it to the plant manager or to the investor with describing the problems with a real 3-step scenario, with describing of the solution, which can cost very significant money, and then provide some solution how to avoid it. One small example which provide you arguments about my story. We run this exercise with the ethical hacking group. They try to penetrate industrial environment, and you see in the middle very expensive distribution cell unit. Usually they use it for energy distribution. So it was physically destroyed by pushing of the button. Again, we deal with the cyber physical systems, and we should understand what is about acceptance of the risk. Transferring the risk. It's about new type of cyber insurance. And here I would like to state that we have a very big changes. We should expect that industrial insurance will change a lot. I took this paper 3 years ago from a typical underwriting report, which stated that there is no technological risk on the particular environment, which is the terminal. Now we have a lot of changes, and if you see a number of claims which came from real customers to industrial brokerage companies, we see 3 digits growth, which is very big growth of demand. And definitely it was a question. Before, cyber insurance covered only third-party hours for data recovery. It's not enough anymore. Currently, cyber attack and cyber incident can impact physical assets, which is industrial equipment, and definitely events which may happen, asset breakdown, business interruption, funds withdrawal, have to be transferred, if it's possible, to the third party. Mitigation, I'm close to my finish. Mitigation means that we have to deal within 3 domains: people, process, and technology. I will not touch technology today, but I would like to say that with all digitalization story, we are entering very rapidly the era of a gap between demand of the well-educated people and reality. So you see, for example, to hire engineer, currently we need about 120 days, it's about 4 months to hire one experienced engineer. We did research. I'm lucky I was a part of this group within World Manufacturing Forum, and we identified top 10 skills for the future employee of the big industrial company. I will not follow all of them. I think you may get it from report or from my presentation, but definitely cybersecurity is one of the essential skill which have to be within employer. And regardless which competences and which profession you will create in your companies, you will see on the screen a couple of new professions. They all should have cybersecurity skills. Otherwise, the incident impact will cost more for the company. So the last topic about mitigation part is about incident communication. It's not enough to have a good technology team and a good approach how to recover the data after cyber attack, but it's very important how to build a system and communicate internally and externally if something bad happens. And for us, for Kaspersky team, it started from real, very sophisticated attack we had in 2015. So it was attack, it was attempt to steal our intellectual property. And one of the first action we undertook for that time, it was a honest communication with the market. What did happen? How did we react on that? And what lessons learned we got after this attack. So in general, in a simple way, we have a specific set of actions. It's a new discipline. We are ready to share this experience, but it should include definitely specific team members. It should include simulation of worst scenario, etc. So do not forget that it's not a good idea to wait for incident and then to understand how to react. You should be ready, and it's much better even to simulate this scenario before it may happen. So with that, I would like to say that we deal in terms of cyber incidents with risk number 1, it's discussable, but definitely it's the highest risk in terms of possible losses. We should understand and examine acceptance, transfer, and mitigation. We should pay special attention if we are ready to transfer this risk about current state of cyber insurance. And people, process, and technology are essential part for mitigation domain of the cyber risk. I would like to come back to a couple of questions before I will run my next voting process. Yes, Maria?
Andrei, what is the frequency of update of the cybersecurity software?
I would rather please let me reformulate the question because a frequency of update can be very frequent for IT systems, even every hour, because it can be done automatically. For industrial systems, it definitely should be linked to some maintenance window. But I would like to combine update of the software with this type of expert services, which will provide you up-to-date information about vulnerability and possibility to penetrate. In reality, we would recommend every 6 months. And in reality, if you are lucky, I would recommend to have at least 2 or 3 very experienced people within your team, which will provide this type of service on regular basis. Because to hire professional teams from the company can be costly, but to have a balance between your own employees and some outsourcing companies can be optimal option. So for the total assessment, I would recommend 6 months and less, depending on your capability.
Andrei, what frameworks exist for analyzing assessing cyber physical installs and that may contain legacy SCADA systems as an example, for example?
Good questions. Good question. We have a couple of standards. I would like to mention at least 2: NIST, NIST, and NISA, which came from US and from Middle East. Currently, we have a couple of organizations, for example, EISA, International EISA. I will mention it in my email, and you can try to get this information and apply it. What I would like to recommend as well is to go to Industrial Internet Consortium website, IIC, which published recently very interesting approach. And this approach is results of many companies, including, by the way, our experts. And they called it SMM, Security Maturity Model. So Security Maturity Model, on my personal view, is one of most valuable framework you can use for cyber security of a big company. So,
Andrei, what is your perception to the vulnerabilities for a company in the view of employees? So what if, or if it happens when employees share the important information, confidential information with the publicity?
Yes, so we still have a human factor as one of the most important source of incident. There are 2 main areas of it. Number 1, we can exclude. Number 1 is unintentional behavior. So for example, if you are an operator of a critical system and you have to call to your wife or to the bank to cover some mortgage interest, and your phone is totally out, you can just put and charge this phone number for your cell phone into operator machines. So it is prohibited, and it should be done in a form of a small education, of a small cyber hygiene, and that's it. So we have to provide special attention for that. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Thank you. So go ahead with the lecture if you have time, and we will proceed with questions in the written form.
I'm done. I'm done. Only maybe small question I would like to provide right now. We start a second voting. Please start voting about cyber risk management right now. I would like to check your knowledge. So you can see a couple of answers. I would like you select appropriate one. What is about cyber risk management?
Andrey, I think the session is over.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2020.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you, Andrey, and we will be back to you later. Thanks a lot.